learning, predictive analysis used to do. But what is generative AI doing? Generative AI is basically trained on a large set of data set. So it trained on a lot of learning patterns, and then it will create something based on it. Basically, it is creating a new text or new image, new video, new audio based on learning some kind of patterns from the existing data. So this is what generative AI is doing. So predictive analysis will predict, but generative AI is creating a text or creating a new content based on what it learned. So it is like making a student learn, school and college, so he will go and do new thing in job. That is what, if I can give you an example. So generative AI is like you have trained the model on the school or college, but in the job he will go and do new things like creating new text, new image, new video, new audio based on what he learned in school and college. So something like that generative AI is doing, but this is not human. This is a robo, or this is a technology that is doing that one. So far we have seen only prediction or only passive things, but generative AI is something creating. So that is the good thing about this technology. So, what are the applications that we can create with Gen AI? We can create in marketing, we can create in design, we can create in customer service, or many other industries wherever there is a possibility for creating content, and it can be used to create personalized content. It can, used to create any new customer experience. It can use to automate any repetitive task. So all those things this Gen AI can do. Okay, so what are the limitations with this Gen AI? So there are some limitations where there is something called as hallucination. What is hallucination is sometimes when even when we are there, right? We have learned something in school and college, but when we go to this office, we may do something that is not exact or accurate. We will do our job, but it is not accurate. So similarly, Gen AI has learned something in the school and college or in the model training, but when it comes to creating the task, it will do some hallucination, that it will not do the accurate thing, but it will do something that is close to accuracy. So what it will do, uh, if you ask it to do, if you ask it some question, it will answer some questions correctly, some questions there may be some deviation. So this is deviation is called as hallucination. Similarly, as I told you, there is a large computational resource or large data set needed for a Gen AI to function. So that's when we need some computer power like RAM, some GPUs needed, some tokens. That is, it is becoming very expensive to run a Gen AI. So those kind of things. So that is a problem. And then the last thing is there is some misuse happening with AI. So you have seen some, deep fake, or creating a photo with someone else, or creating some audio of someone else. So those kind of things you have seen some, celebrities audio being used, or celebrities deep fakes. So those kind of things. So as a new technology is coming, right? There are some people who will use it for good. Some people are using for some bad things. So those kind of concern is there, like if someone is using AI for something wrong like that. But that is a limitation. The technology will itself create some things to, so that we can prevent from any bad thing happening. So these are things that are limitation related to Gen AI. Okay. So next concept is called as vector embedding. So what is vector embedding? So when I am talking, so I am talking in a natural language, right? I am talking in English. You are able to understand me. But what is this Gen AI? We are talking with the system. So I am talking in a natural language, but system should understand me, right? But system cannot understand natural language. But what it will understand? It will understand something called as vector embedding. So when I am talking in a natural language, the system is converting my natural language to a vector embedding. So this process is very important in the Gen AI. So I to in a, to explain you further, vector embedding is a technique where we convert any word or phrases or data to vector. That is a continuous data, continuous new numbers that will be stored in a vector space. So let me show you a visualization. So this is the vector embedding visualization. You are having like a object 1, object 2, object 3. The object 1 can be like a text, object 2 can be a image, object 3 can be a video. So these three things are in the form of natural language. Okay, so for now the system has to understand what is there so that it can create some, or it can answer based on the text, right? So generative AI, what it will do is there is something called as embedding models. That model can be any model. I will come to the name of the models in the later slide. So what happened? We are giving the object 1, object 2, object 3 to the embedding model. The embedding model will convert that object 1, object 2, object 3 to a series of vectors. So this is how it will be, like 0 0.6, 0 0.3, 0 0.1, like that. Lakhs of numeric data will be stored actually. So this is called as vector embedding. So what will happen to this lakhs of vectors? It will get stored in this kind of a space. So in a normal world, we will see x-axis, y-axis. That is, horizontal, vertical, right? But in the world of AI, there are thousands of dimensions. So in the thousands of dimensions, this vector that we have created here, it will go and get stored. So this is called as vector embedding. So this is how the AI's brain will be like. So basically, the AI will convert data into a form of this vector, and then it will store it in this brain. So whenever we ask any question to the AI, so from here only it will be able to understand. Okay, this person had told this. I have stored it here, and he is asking this, and I will tell from here. So this is how it will work actually. So next we are coming to this thing called as LLM. What is the full form of LLM? LLM means large language model. Okay, so large language model are something like pre-trained models that have some kind of large data set. It is prepared. Say for example, so there is something called as LLM. In that LLM, there is something called as foundation models. Okay, foundation models are models created by these LLM providers. So what they do, they take a lot of data set that it can be text data set, image data set, number data set, or coding data set. So all the data set they will train, okay, so that it can come to a elementary level. That is a foundation level. It will come where it can be able to answer any kind of question related to the data set. So what they will do, they will train it on these millions and trillions of data set, and they will create a foundation model, and it will come. So this foundation model is good for certain tasks, like for example text generation, code generation, math, answering any math related question, answering any logic related question. So those kind of things it will answer. And what we can do is we can take these foundation models from this LLM, and we can fine tune them for our specific task. Okay, so these are some of the LLM providers that we are having, which are like top LLM providers. So you will be knowing about OpenAI. You will be knowing about Azure. This is Azure OpenAI. Something called as Anthropic. Anthropic is the Cloud 3 which has released recently. Hugging Face. Hugging Face is basically like a open source library where people from across the world they create any models and they are creating. Vertex is basically Google Vertex AI. There is some other things like Fireworks and stuff. Amazon is AWS, Amazon Bedrock, and Olama. Olama is the local language LLM that I told you, where we can do AI without even the internet. So that is what we are seeing. And then as I told you, that is LLM. This is foundation model, where we are creating something for base, using that large corpus of information that we trained. We can use these foundation models for any elementary task, but if we want to do any specific task, we have to fine tune that model. So you can see this one. This is how a foundation model will work. So what they have done, they have given text related data, structured related data, speech audio data, 3D signal related data, image related data. So what they have done, they have taken all the data and they have trained the model. Okay. So this is the foundation model. So this foundation model can be used for information extracting. That is, it can ask the user to get any information. What is your name? Can you tell me your email ID? Can you tell me your phone number? So these kind of things. So for example, you are going to a Swiggy. You are telling, I ordered food. My food does not come like that. But food, first Swiggy will ask, right? What is your name? When did you order? All those things. So now there is some other software technology that is doing that one, but in the future AI will be like a customer agent. It can ask any kind of questions. So anything related to extracting information from the user, this task can be used. Similarly, object recognition. So you are showing any image saying my food parcel is broken. So it is able to recognize whether the parcel is broken or not. So AI is able to do that. Then the next one, instruction following. Basically, you are asking the AI, like, if a customer is telling the food is broken, you have to ask for the image, then you have to send the image to the team, and then you have to inform the hotel that the food is broken. So this is the instruction that Swiggy is giving. So the AI is able to follow that one. Then the last image captioning. So now it will send that image broken food to the Swiggy team with the captioning saying that customer Arvind or customer so and so food is broken. So like that it will caption the image and send. Then the sentiment analysis. After this talking to the customer, the AI will tell whether the customer is happy or sad, or positive or negative. Those kind of analysis of that one. Then the last one, question answering. If the customer is telling I want any refund, how much refund is available, what discount is available, but with the available information the AI is able to give the answer. Yeah, I can give you 30% discount, like that. So those kind of question answering the AI can do. So these are the things that the foundation model is trained to do. So I am saying these are tasks, some of the tasks that can be trained. We can even fine tune to, for our use case, like that. Okay. So next, retrieval augmented generation. So what is retrieval augmented generation? So here we saw something like the AI, how the AI is able to store the data as a form of vector. Okay, so it is related to that one. So in the RAG, what we will be doing is, now the AI, we have given AI some data. The data is stored in the form of vector somewhere, right? Now when I am asking a user query, the AI should understand my user query and it should bring the correct answer from the brain, right? So how it will be able to do that is called as RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So as I told you, the AI does not understand natural language. The AI only understand vector. Similarly, when I ask any question, the AI will convert my question also to a vector, and then so my question also is in the form of a number, right? And the data is also in the form of number. So it applies a mathematical function called as cosine similarity. So it does that mathematical function and it will put the formula. So what will happen? My user input that text and the data, both of the numbers, it will do a formula, and then whichever formula is matching, it will come back with the answer. So this mathematical function is called as cosine similarity. So what they will do is, first the user will ask a question to the AI, and the AI will go and check the data. It will convert my question into a number. It will go to the data. It will perform a mathematical function, and from there it will retrieve correct information, and that information it will provide to the AI, and that is, this is the information that is there in our database. So based on that one, it will create an output. So this process